Magic mirror on the wall, which fairy tale is most popular of all?
I mean, that's really subjective. Can you be more specific? Okay, the most popular fairy tale that's been made into a Disney movie. Frozen. Okay. What about box office gross? Sleeping Beauty. Adjust for inflation. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Nailed it.
Because that's how you get ants.
Let's get this out of the way. Buy my book. Please? Add over. The Huntsman Winter's War is a weird movie. It shouldn't exist. It's the sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman, a movie that has its own bad reputation, and will have its own episode on this channel as soon as I find the right t-shirt for it. So why did they make a sequel to a bad movie? I'm gonna guess Chris Hemsworth. He was likely contractually obligated for some kind of spin-off, and once he became Thor, studios started seeing him as a box office draw. Look, just because I live in Los Angeles doesn't mean I know anything about Hollywood, so take some of this with a grain of salt, but I do think Hemsworth's career development with Marvel can't be completely taken out of consideration. There were some rumors of sequels and stuff, with Kristen Stewart set to return. Without giving any spoilers away, Stewart wasn't one of my favorite things about the original film. And while the Huntsman is an expert at tracking, we are trying to find a treasure most hidden. Anything nice to say about the Huntsman Winter's War? I can't describe how badly I wanted this movie to be outstanding. We all know that Frozen should have ended with Elsa using her ice powers to manifest armor and weapons while raising an army of living snowmen to wage war on the enemies of Arendelle. No? No one else wanted that? Anyway, the previews for this movie made it look like we were going to see Elsa-style powers from a deliciously evil villain who really knew how to use them.
Prepare in love.
And it was going to turn out that Charlize Theron was the new villain's sister.
We have much to do, little sister.
Was this evil Frozen? Oh my god, did they make evil Frozen? I will buy 18 tickets. Well, yes and no. Charlize Theron reprises her role from the original as Ravenna, the evil queen. Emily Blunt plays Freya, her not-quite-evil sister. Freya falls in love with a boy at court and has a baby with him. Ravenna isn't into it. She's already killed her king and taken the throne. She wants Freya to be the same evil husk that she is. Freya goes out to the courtyard to meet her love. While she's away, the baby is burned alive in its crib, and the father is standing over it with a torch. Freya breaks and her powers are unleashed. Devastating ice powers which she uses to freeze and shatter the father of her child. I love Emily Blunt. Ever since Edge of Tomorrow, I'm on board for basically anything Emily Blunt does, and she's great in this. Charlize Theron is amazing as well. She chews every piece of scenery and savors the flavor. That style works so well for a melodramatic fairy tale. Freya goes north and begins kidnapping children to train them to be her soldiers or huntsmen. She has outlawed love in her kingdom. That part's a little silly, but she's an ice queen who lives in an ice palace and rides a polar bear cat. If you came for subtlety, you're watching the wrong movie. Chris Hemsworth plays Eric, one of the kidnapped children, grown up and now one of the best huntsmen in the army. Jessica Chastain plays Sarah, another kidnapped child who arrived at the castle around the same time as Eric. The two are in love and are hiding it from the queen, but the queen sees all with the ice owl that she can see through. Freya drags the two lovers out into the courtyard and says if love can conquer all, Then they will have to fight all the other huntsmen to get to each other. And the thing is, they do. As they're about to touch, Freya builds an ice wall between them. Eric watches through the ice as Sarah is killed. He gets knocked over the head and dumped into a river. That's the prequel part. We flash forward to after the events of the first movie. Eric is living a quiet existence now that Snow White is queen. The king finds him because the magic mirror has gone missing. We get a flash to Snow White kneeling in front of the mirror surrounded by a bunch of dead animals. Did she kill the animals? Was it the residual magic in the mirror? We're not really sure, but she ordered the mirror to be taken to a place called Sanctuary where its evil will be contained, and it went missing along the way. Eric hurls an axe at a snowfrost owl that Freya was spying on them with. Now she knows the mirror is missing. They offer the huntsman a reward for finding it, which he refuses because he's more interested in ridding the world of the evil magic. He sets off with Nyan, played by Nick Frost, who was one of the original Seven Dwarfs, and Griff, Nyan's half-brother, played by Sam Claflin. These two will be the comic relief of the group. They did really well on balancing the comic relief. Nick Frost is another spectacular actor and plays the crazy one next to Claflin's straight man. The traveling party that had the mirror attacked and killed one another. The mirror has a corrupting influence on everyone that's around it. The trio are attacked by Huntsman. They're about to be defeated when someone shows up and saves them at the last minute. It's Sarah. Within the ice, Freya was able to create an illusion. While Eric saw Sarah killed, Sarah saw Eric simply run away. They're keeping each other at arm's reach. Eric is ecstatic to see that she's still alive, but Sarah can't get over the idea that he abandoned her. They run into some female dwarfs, which is funny. Nyan flirts with one of them. Eric tries to rekindle his romance with Sarah as they track the mirror down to some gold-collecting goblins. The creature design was pretty cool here. The goblins are obsessed with gold and treasure, and they have flecks of gold on their skin. The leader had some ram's horns, and the mirror had the same effect on the goblins, and they killed each other. They steal the mirror. Eric is ready to sacrifice himself. Sarah saves him again with a flaming arrow, and we get a repeat of an earlier line, "I never miss." She and Eric have some sexy times that night. In the morning, Freya shows up. She freezes Nyan and his love interest and takes the mirror. She instructs Sarah to kill Eric. Sarah shoots an arrow at his chest. The remaining dwarfs run to Eric thinking he's dead, but Sarah hit a pendant that she gave him back when they were in love. Eric thinks she hit the pendant on purpose because she never misses. They chase after the mirror. Back in the north, Freya is preparing to conquer Snow White's kingdom now that she has the mirror. She says the magic words to summon the mirror. This is where we get the coolest effect in the movie. The mirror does this sort of gold melty fabric effect that's so cool with the metallic shine and liquid properties. It's so well done. The gold melty mirror creature turns out to be Ravenna. After she died in the last movie, she was absorbed into the mirror. They bicker about what to do next. Bickering. It's the worst. As Freya prepares them for their next war, Eric sneaks in and tries to assassinate Freya. The arrow was caught last minute by Ravenna. A fight scene ensues where the other huntsmen are convinced that love can exist and they must overthrow the queen. Now that she's part of the mirror, Ravenna's powers are basically dialed up to 11, so she starts attacking the huntsmen, but Freya protects them with an ice wall. They start to climb over. Ravenna says something that makes Freya question history. As the owner of the mirror, she forces Ravenna to tell her what really happened to her baby. Ravenna used her magic to trick the father of Freya's child into killing the baby because she knew it would unlock Freya's powers. So her whole life was a lie. I mean, damn, right? I love those kinds of twists. Not happy that Freya can use her, Ravenna stabs her. The huntsmen breach the wall and Ravenna starts wiping them out. Freya gets the excellent line, "Leave my children alone," and you realize in a totally misguided backwards way, Freya loved the children that she kidnapped. She thought that training them to be the best would protect them the way that she could not. It's so deliciously twisted.
Leave my children alone.
Ravenna is winning. Freya starts to freeze her and gets dealt a fatal blow. As she lies dying, she freezes the mirror, which allows Eric to throw a sword into it and shatter it. Ravenna is defeated, the mirror is destroyed, and Freya dies. The frozen people melt and everyone's reunited. We get some kind of voiceover that hints there could be a sequel. My expectations for this movie were way too high, and I actually think in most cases that's why people don't like movies. It just never meets their expectations. But there are a lot of things to love about this movie. Chris Hemsworth is his most Thorishly charming self. Jessica Chastain is a great leading lady opposite him. They do a good job at the love-hate chemistry. Nick Frost leads the way on balancing the comic relief. I love that this movie has a villain that's just evil. Charlize Theron is a perfect Ravenna. She's, of course, stunningly beautiful, and given the evil queen's obsession with the fairest of them all, a glammed-up Theron is a great choice. Her aloof, chin-up, cool, evil presence is almost sickeningly perfect. If they did a movie on her alone, I would watch it. I'm not really into fashion, could you tell? But the wardrobe is stunning. The gold of Ravenna's character is played off the silver and ice of Freya. You don't need to watch Snow White and the Huntsman to understand what's happening in this movie. In fact, it might be better to look at it as a separate entity. Well, it's not the evil Frozen I was hoping for. I guess I'll just have to write that one myself. The plot took enough twists and turns to keep it interesting. There are a bunch of different cool effects to catch the eye and enough fight scenes to keep you entertained. The movie is over the top and melodramatic, but I kind of feel like that's what fairy tales are. When someone tries to ban love from the kingdom, you should know what kind of movie you're watching. That's all for this episode of Anything Nice to Say. Tune in next time and never be ashamed to like what you like. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you have a movie you think we should review, drop it in the comments below. Become a subscriber on Patreon for early access and exclusives, and check out our merch store. And it went missing along the way! Did you like that part? Yeah? Yeah, oh yeah.